Hello and welcome everyone to session 10. Yeah, we're in the double digits, which is always a good feeling, at least for me as a game master. Whenever I'm running a story and we get to double digits, I've never gotten to triple digits. I've gotten close. I think the most sessions I've run in a campaign was like 50, maybe 53. Here's my question for I'm gonna go player by player really quick. Brian, what's the most number of sessions you've ever played in a campaign?
I don't know. I haven't kept track.
Good answer. Blau?
Yeah, I don't count.
All right, perfect. Axel?
Around 60 something, I think.
That's impressive. It's impressive. I'm also impressed that you knew. I was hoping that everyone would be like, I don't know, I don't count. I don't count.
I'm the note keeper in my
That's fair.
campaigns.
That's fair. That makes sense. That makes sense. What about Bix? What about Chewbacca? How many have you been in?
Never kept track. I know I've played in a campaign that lasted like 3 years though.
That's impressive. That is gloriously impressive. But anyway, enough out of me. Let's introduce the players. Of course, I am Darewolf, the Game Master. And then we're going to get into a little bit of Broken Oaths. Trials of Solaria, Broken Oaths. But let's start from left to right of the screen. Brian, Blau, Axel, and Chewbacca, take it away.
Hello, I am Brian, better known as Mind Over Brian on both Twitter and on Twitch. Although on Twitch, I spell it with a 0 because some jerk stole my O. And I'm playing Venwivar Halbrand, a ASMR sorcerer who passes for human mostly.
Hi there, I'm Joe, or Blau. I'm playing Eckhard Gersh, the Abadarian war priest with a legalistic bent, and hopefully some stake in this negotiation.
Hi, I'm Axel, the recap czar, and I play Mikhail, the Kitsune entrepreneur who apparently is in the spotlight in this scene, and I have to speak to the shadow person. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Drew. I'm playing Bix, the gnome hunter, and his giant weasel friend Polly.
Absolutely fantastic. So, with that being said, Fire, good to see you. Thanks for your support. Always nice to have you here. Don't spend too much threat because I'm going to ignore it. But I digress. So, with that being said, when we last left off, our intrepid adventurers, you had, well, a lot of things had happened. Actually, quite a few things had happened. There was some weirdness with Odafi. There was this shadow guy that showed up. One of the acolytes appears to be possessed, and this possessed acolyte had mentioned that there appears to be a war, and they are here simply for the book, because the book will help them end that war. And according to this shadow, if you give them the book, they'll end the war, and this incursion from the shadow realm into the material plane will end. But we're going to pick up the scene right as this possessed acolyte has made this proclamation, made this declaration. You know, if you give us the book, the war, this incursion into your realm shall end.
What assurance of that do we have?
Name your terms. I am not... She kind of twitches a little bit. You almost looks like the acolyte themselves is struggling against this possession. You see one eye kind of phases to where it's not that black shadowy mist, and it looks like a regular normal eye with an iris and a pupil, and then it moves back as the shadow appears to be struggling with the acolyte. Name your terms, and I shall accommodate them.
Well, for one, you mentioned this war that somehow involves us now, but we do not know anything about it. So, would you care to share some more information about why this
does
is
not
happening?
concern those of flesh and bone and blood. It concerns only those of smoke and shadow. Give us the book, and we shall part.
And if you are to mention it in the middle of negotiations, then it must be important. And if we are to make an informed decision, which might include giving you the book, then we would have to know more about it.
Give us a diplomacy check, my good man.
All right. It's bad roll.
Well, go ahead and is there anything else you want to elaborate with that?
Yeah,
roll? Anything else you'd like to elaborate?
Well, like my specific questions about the war. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle like goes like, well, we would have to at least know what it is about, who it is between, and what started it, and how you plan on ending it once you have the book.
The shadow seems reticent to give additional info, and it's less that, at least in this moment, it's less as though this possessed acolyte, it's less that they don't want to give you information. Let me just rephrase that. It's more like they're struggling to speak, and as though the acolyte themselves is starting to fight back, and that this battle inside is starting to lean more towards the acolyte. In fact, the acolyte's voice, it's a female. You actually hear the acolyte's voice. She's, I can't, it hurts. I need silence. We are negotiating. And the shadow once again regains control. But doesn't answer your question. Does not answer your question.
You seem to be slipping there, friend.
Existing in this plane. It would be the same if you came to my realm. You would be out of place as well.
Would it help if you had a willing host?
The shadow possessed acolyte's head kind of snaps to the right. They half spin around and look at you. Who would be willing?
Well, it looks like you're hurting this girl, and I feel like I could probably support you for a little bit, and then we wouldn't be imposing your will on this girl.
Let us not jump to drastic measures like that, then.
I mean, this isn't drastic.
I accept your offer. And
Yeah.
without another moment, the shadow, you see this black smoke as her head snaps back and it comes out like a plume of shadow above her, swirling like this cloud, this black cloud, and then it lances out like a cobra striking towards your face. And if you don't resist, it goes into your nose, into your mouth, and a moment later, the acolyte collapses to the ground, unconscious. And that voice, now inside of Ven, continues to speak much more relaxing. Where were we?
Well, since you are feeling all nice and relaxed in your new home, would you care to answer the questions this time?
Two factions, those that envy those of flesh and bone, and those that accept who we are.
And which do you represent?
I represent the Supiska. I oppose the Shilharaka. And I will post those in the little chat here for you guys. So, want to be flesh and bone, except they are shadows.
You said he represents the Supiska?
That's correct. Those that do not wish to invade the material plane and seek only to exist inside of their realm, according to the shadow.
And what are your chances of winning this war if we relinquish the book?
Victory is guaranteed.
Kind of glance to Mikhail.
And once you have this book and you win the war, of course, that would mean you do not pose any more threat. to our world?
There is a slow and methodical nod of Ven's head as his completely black eyes, almost like an elf's eyes that are completely, one color, nods in your direction, not breaking eye contact and not blinking at Mikhail.
Can I sense more of that?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I forgot the Pathfinder elves are gross. They're a little weird. Yeah, they are a little gross. That's funny. That's actually hilarious. So yeah, it's hard to read, and I want to preface this: you're not getting any weird vibes from this guy, but it's also hard to read someone that is.
I'm
basically
getting some weird
expressionless.
vibes.
I mean, nothing above
Yeah.
and beyond the fact that it's a shadow monster possessing your, charge in this moment.
Okay.
And I think if we have the means to assure you victory, we have some rights at the bargaining table to demand some concessions.
There's an expression on Ven's face, and for a moment it looks annoyed. But again, the shadow makes the same statement that it did before. State your terms.
Maybe we have a few moments to discuss in the other room.
Shadow doesn't move, just stands there, waiting.
Eckert will kind of step aside and huddle with Mikhail.
Hmm.
Our aid for theirs. We give them the book. We get a favor to cash in later.
Yes, it would be nice to get something in exchange. I cannot think of anything else they could do for us. I do not know much about this shadow plane and its denizens. Perhaps we should ask for the Queen's opinion on this, of course.
Of course. Let's move on through the door, that is.
As you move back into the room, Bix, Ollie, what have you guys been up to? As they've all been outside discussing. Just hanging out, having any conversations, prodding anyone for additional information. What are you up to, man?
Yeah, I think we're just I guess I would have talked to the priestess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think's going on out there?
Well, it's hard to say. It could be some sort of intrigue. It could be nothing. It could be everything. Hard to say. Hard to say. But I trust that the members of the Queen's Council will make the proper decisions. Would you like a cookie? And she breaks out some baked goods and offers it to Bix.
I would love one, thank you.
It's a lemon tart. It's very good, like very moist, perfectly made. It's really delicious.
He gives a piece to Polly.
I love it. Polly is num 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 nums it all away. Absolutely delicious.
Excellent.
All right. And next up, we have the two of you entering into the room. Proceed.
We have an envoy from the Plane of Shadow. He'll spell the story. There's two factions at war. One of them has interest in invading our realm, and the envoy that's here does not want to.
Mm-hmm.
And they say they can win their war if we grant them the book. We want advice in terms of what we would like in exchange for it.
The Queen kind of reels back, leaning back. I want to understand this clearly. You're stating that a representative from the Plane of Shadow is asking for the book that we are attempting to keep away from who we assume are the apostles. And we think that just by giving it to them, it's going to prevent some sort of incursion or war? What guarantee do we have that this supposed shadow is not a representative of Godfrey? And the Queen starts to get a little flustered. Dawkins is like, it's okay. The High Priestess just kind of leans back and slowly eats a lemon tart herself, and she's just watching. But no, proceed.
Guarantee that I have is that I saw it turn into a shadow and possess Vinravar. I believe it's a shadow. Granted, some form of magic I don't know might be able to allow someone to do that, but again, I don't know it if it is.
I mean, is that supposed to make us feel better about it? That it is a shadow and can possess our friends?
The devil we know or the one we don't.
Perhaps instead of keeping this favor for later, being unsure of the Shadow's allegiance, perhaps it would be wiser to ask them for some help before we give them the book. Perhaps something to help us against Godfrey himself, which will also prove that they are not part of an alliance with him.
At the mention of Godfrey himself, there is a loud but purposeful knock on the minced front door. Almost sounds like it was magically enhanced.
Oh, fuck this stuff, man.
Oh boy.
Why can't anything be easy anymore?
So Ven would
Good
be
question.
outside of the room because he is still possessed.
Eckerd bows himself out of the room to presumably go open the mint doors, provided the banker and the queen give him the nod.
The
I'll
banker
go
gives
with
the
him.
nod.
He'll open the door.
As he opens the door, standing in the doorway is a robed person with a white mask. They have in their left hand what looks to be a golden rod, and their left glove is golden as well. It almost appears to be made of gold, but it may be fabric. Their clothing looks to be made of gold, but you know it's fabric. They are, well, for lack of a better term, they are shiny. And I'd like you to roll a knowledge local. I'll even give you a knowledge religion to see if you recognize who this person is. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You recognize this person. You've heard of this person. This is one of Godfrey's inner council, one of the very apostles themselves, someone known as Yolana. This is Godfrey's diplomat, for lack of a better term. The masked individual tilts their head to the side. Who is in charge here?
The head
I
banker
would-
is in a meeting at the moment.
If you have official business, then perhaps you can share what it is about with us.
But of course, we come, that is to say that I come, in goodwill and good faith. There is an item of interest that our Lord wishes to acquire, and it's come to our attention that that particular item of interest may be, well, it may be in this very mint itself. So I'm here to negotiate its transfer into our possession. I understand
believe-
if the High Priestess is busy. We've waited this long, and I'm happy to wait a bit longer if necessary. Her words are almost like honey. It's melodious. There's this kind of tune to the way she speaks. And she doesn't move very much, but when she does, it's very slow. You almost have to it almost doesn't even look like she's moving. There is a gracefulness to everything about, but also this opulence to the way that she looks. And the voice, obviously, I say she, it sounds feminine, but please continue.
I do believe the high banker could find a time for you to meet tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Though I'm not her schedule keeper, and I will need to consult the acolyte that is.
Shall I wait here? And also, what is your name?
Echad Gerst, taxmaster of the Abadarian faith.
Eckert Gerst. A fine name for a finely dressed individual. You'll have to give me the name of your tailor. And there's kind of a little bit of an undercurrent in that statement. It almost sounds a little condescending, but she wavers for a moment, goes to turn, and then turns back. Would you speak with her now, Eckert Gerst? And let me know what time tomorrow I can return for our meeting.
Do you have an address we can reach you at?
Where would you
Or do you
recommend
intend to wait on the
I
stoop?
stay in town? What is the nicest establishment in this city? And as she says city, it's like forced. Like you can tell she wanted to say something a little bit more condescending, but she is trying to be nice in this moment.
Would Eckert have a recommendation, having been in the city for however long he's been
Yeah.
here?
I mean, you can make
Yeah.
something up. You could say wherever you want to tell her to stay. There's probably lots of different places.
The Gilded Minstrel.
The Gilded Minstrel. A question for you, Eckhart Gerst. Do they have live music? I would love some live music.
Sometimes in the evening. He'd nod and make to turn away.
And she makes to turn away. You see her masked face look towards Ven as Ven kind of wavers back and forth. Ven, you are inside of your own mind. Imagine that you are sitting atop a hill, but instead of being able to see anything around you, you see just this willow tree to your right, and it's kind of like weeping down. You can see the leaves of the willow tree. You're up on top of a hill, and you feel like you should be able to see something in the distance, but all you see is this black shadowness around you, and you feel the urge to fight against it. But in this moment, you have submitted to this shadow, is my understanding, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Even still, somewhere, as though through the thick of this black shadow, you hear this voice that sounds familiar. It sounds like honey. And that symbol that you have upon you begins to once again burn extremely painfully. And for a moment, you feel your body, you feel this possession, and then you shove it back down. But as this is going on, remind me, who is carrying the topaz at this time? You are. That's what I
Yep.
thought. As you are sitting there at this weeping willow, surrounded by this black, shadowy smokiness, you feel for a moment like you're alone. And then a moment later, you feel as though there is someone else with you, someone else standing next to you. And you see this. She looks as though she is made of watercolor. It's blurry. It's like an impressionist painting. But you think you see a red-haired elven woman dressed in kind of greenish-looking gown, and she is sitting just a few paces away from you. If you're sitting at the base of this willow tree, the leaves rustling just ever so quietly above you, and this blurry, impressionist face turns towards you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
What has become of the children?
You're going to have to be more specific.
Please. I must know. Know. And as she speaks, her face seems to almost kind of start to melt away. I must know what has happened to the children.
What children?
My children. The only children that mattered. My children, his children, their children. The children. The children. The children. And she starts to like repeat herself again and again, and this painting starts to kind of blur and fade as though she is losing her like composure. But we're going to pivot back out from your mind then in this moment back to this masked individual, this apostle. And as Eckert parts, heads off to talk to the banker, I believe is where you're going, correct, Eckert? Okay, perfect. She lingers in the doorway for a moment and looks over at Mikhail. What is your name?
It is Mikhail.
Mikhail.
I believe you've not introduced yourself yet.
Oh, I am just someone doing my God's work. And the tone is just this like, oh, it's dripping with condensation. It just so condescending. It's horrible. I'm not doing it justice in this moment. But she says, Mikael, may I ask you a personal question?
You may.
Though you are not of, well, though you're not of the race that we commonly accept into our ranks, have you accepted Godfrey into your heart and soul?
It is quite a personal question. Well, as you can see, I have no holy symbol of such a god around my neck. Does that not answer your question?
Her hand, which is gloved in that golden looking glove that it looks like gold, but it moves like silk. She flicks it, and a tiny platinum holy symbol of Godfrey wrapped around a chain dangles from between her two fingers and kind of clinks down to here. Something that can be remedied, my dear boy.
Well, thank you for the offer. I am not a boy, and also, I believe that it is you yourself who would not accept me to such a religion in the first place. Is that not correct?
She twirls the chain once and twice, moving it about half its length up towards her hand. Well, perhaps your ailment could be remedied with the right help.
Mikhail waves waves her hand over their face, and turns into a human like her. I just turn into her as a mirror image, and they say, "Well, I believe that a race turns into Ven, who cannot do something like this, turns into Dogen, is in fact a lesser race than the one I am myself." So,
As you turn into Dawkin, the holy symbol in her hand vanishes with a swipe, with a quick flick of her wrist. Where have you seen this individual?
oh, I'm sorry. Is this someone you recognize?
I will ask you again, Abomination. Where have you seen this individual?
Well, it pays to be one of those lesser races, I will have you know. Perhaps you should try it sometime, instead of trying to fix everyone else.
There is a tense moment of silence between the two of you where we pivot back over into the meeting room where the queen is sitting next to Dawkin. They appear to be in some sort of intense conversation about what to do, what's going on, how to move forward. Eckerd moves up to the high priest, the old woman, and she's like brushing some crumbs off of her blouse and does one of those, and she's, "Oh, Eckerd, what's going on out in the hallway?"
One of Godfrey's apostles is here.
The high priest often, if you've noticed, is very, she's kind of like blasé, has a good time. Her expression goes cold. Where are they? Where is she? Where is it?
On the
Where's...
step.
Have they entered into the church?
I didn't permit them entrance. They stood on the stoop.
What do they want?
A meeting with you and the Queen.
Did you mention that
Discuss
the
the
queen was
book.
here?
No. I mentioned you as the figure in charge.
Tell her I will meet with her tomorrow at dawn.
I said tomorrow already. I said I need to speak to your Acolyte for more specifics. They'll be staying at the Gilded Minstrel, or at least we can contact them there.
Very good. Usher them away as quickly as possible.
He nods and steps out of the door, snapping for some acolytes, gesturing for acolytes to join him.
Hop, 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 hop. They all move over and join. And as that tense moment is at its it's been almost 10 seconds of silence, Eckerd returns to break that tenseness. Her voice, which was starting to get a little heated, softens. Ah, Master Eckerd, you've returned. When can your High Priestess meet with me to discuss the arrangement?
The banker can meet you at dawn tomorrow.
Brilliant.
And would you like a guide to the Gilded Minstrel?
Oh, that won't be necessary. I'll find my way there. And Mikael, it's a pleasure getting to know you. And with that, she will turn on her heel, take a few steps away, and then vanish through a dimension door off into somewhere. Who knows where. But yeah, we're back to you guys.
I'm gonna turn to possessed Van immediately and
Yeah.
go, did you take a good look at that person?
Shadow nods Ven's head.
Is that someone you could take care of? Possess?
The shadow kind of rocks back and forth on Ven's heels. Not I, but my master, perhaps.
Well, that we may have found a suitable arrangement for our deal then.
Oh boy. This is going to get wild. But with that all being said, we're going to go back into Ven's head. Ven, you have this watercolor, blurry, impressionist painting elf woman, redheaded elf woman, in front of you. And she seems to be getting more and more upset, more and more frantic. And you've asked, what children, what children? And she rocks back and forth. And then her face starts to kind of form and look more like an elven woman's face. And I need you to give us either a knowledge local, knowledge history, even a knowledge arcana I'll allow in this moment, just because of who she was.
My best roll out of all three of those is arcana, obviously.
Go for it. So, not a hard roll. 15 is good. You recognize this is Muriel. She was the Magister of Solaria prior to the fall, one of the founding members of the council. And as her body starts to kind of form up, she looks very confused as to where she is. She's looking around. She is looking at the shadows, but you can feel this intenseness. You can feel this kind of power emanating from her. Like you have this natural arcane ability. Arcane magic flows through your veins, right? It's tingling as you're close to her, and she says, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what's... Forgive me, my mind is a bit fractured. Would it be a dumb question to ask where we are?
You are in my mindscape.
That would seem logical. Can you explain the shadows around us?
There's a shadow being from the plane of shadows conducting some negotiations with some friends of mine and the fucking Queen of Solaria and the
Queen's
High
alive?
Priestess of Abaddon. I mean, unfortunately.
You don't... like... She laughs. You remind me of someone. Another question that may be dumb, but who exactly are you?
I'm Benwivar. I'm a small-time sorcerer, just trying to make his way in Varnhold's seedy underbelly.
I'm going to have you make a quick check. And the check is going to be a D100 roll. I need you to tell me high or low.
I always go. Wait, but you always go low, right? I always go high.
Always, forever and always.
Well, nope.
So as you are sitting there, that symbol, that tattoo that you have, starts to burn really bad and starts to glow. And the red-headed elven woman in front of you starts to look a little concerned. What is that? What is that underneath your? What is glowing there?
I was briefly, well, not that briefly, but I got involved with some sort of shady people once, and one of the things that they insisted that we do was get these tattoos that would let them track us, and sort of they told us would be the source of our power. Turns out that was bullshit, but now we all have them.
So wait, you are an apostle?
Oh, no. I was an apostle. It's a
I thought I
very,
had
very
escaped.
important
I
distinction.
thought my soul was free of him. I thought I had no, this is a trick. This is a trick from Godfrey.
No, lady,
you are a
lady,
trick.
I'm not.
You are a no. Let me out of here. Someone, please help. And her face starts to blend and mold away and starts to get watercolored again.
Calm
and she
down,
starts
calm
to
down.
just scream. And she goes, the children, please, we have to save the children of Solaria, please, we have to
been
save.
Gone.
And then she is
Lady, they've been gone since you.
as she bleeds back into the ground around you. But we're gonna pivot back outside to Eckerd and Mikael. What are you guys doing?
Well, I just asked the question to the shadow. They replied, and now I'm like, well, let us move back to the meeting room and ask the queen about this, shall we?
Indeed.
As you all move back inside the room, the Shadow Man possessing Ven follows you as well. And yeah, you're back inside. And the queen looks to Eckerd specifically and says, and what news have you for me?
She disappeared, teleported away through some means.
Are they aware that I am here?
Unless they caught something or had some means of reading my mind, no.
Dawkins leans in. Your Majesty, I don't mean to be impertinent, but I don't think it is safe here for you anymore. I think we should move on. Perhaps we can contact your family in Brevoy and seek sanctuary there. It is not safe here anymore, Your Majesty. And she looks almost half convinced about what he's saying in this moment. I'm curious if anyone wants to argue with Dawkins or let it go.
I would have to agree. Well, there are already many rumors about you being in Varnhold, and if I know them, then surely it would not be difficult for the apostles to know them, especially such a capable individual as that woman that was just knocking at our door. So I think it is safe to assume that if she doesn't already assume that you're here, that she will find out eventually. And unless we take care of her somehow, then it will no longer be safe for you here.
As you finish that sentence, Mikael, the shadow inside of Ven emanates out of his nostrils and his mouth, spirals up to the ceiling, and seems to disappear into the floorboards. And Ven, you're back.
He appears to be seeking additional counsel himself.
Oh, shit. Okay.
How was that?
Then pulls the topaz out of his pocket, and he's like, I think I talked to the lady in here. In there.
You talked to Magister Muriel?
Yeah.
Did
for
she
sure.
say? Was she?
Well, so here's the thing. She kind of thinks she's still a prisoner of the apostles, because, you know, this is too long. This tattoo thing.
Right. Perhaps someone else should hold on to that topaz then?
Yeah, fine, whatever. Yeah.
Very good. Well, I would love to have Magister Muriel's counsel and assistance on this if we could actually manage to talk to her properly somehow.
I mean, she's not particularly coherent. She keeps going on about her children. By the time I figured out what children she was talking about and who she was, it was too late. She'd already flipped out.
Her children. I suppose it makes sense that a mother would be worried about her children after her death.
As you were having this little sidebar conversation, the queen has been almost half ignoring you. Like, she didn't hear the part about Muriel. She didn't hear the part about the gem, the topaz. She's in discussions with Dawkin, and Dawkin calls over to Bix. Bix, wasn't it? You're muted.
Yeah, that's me.
How well do you know the area north of Varnhold?
Like the back of Polly's head.
And Polly's... And he says, would you be able to provide us with a map or directions or the safest route north towards Brevoy?
Yeah, I could guide you guys to Brevoy. That wouldn't be too hard. Or I could give you a map, yeah.
I think it would be... I think it's in our best interest, and Your Majesty, if you agree, I think we should leave immediately and take the Queen north to find some sort of sanctuary or political refuge in Brevoy.
Yeah, why is the queen running?
I don't know. A government in exile loses much of its influence.
The Queen, in this moment, she looks scared, actually. She looks nervous, knowing that this apostle has shown up, and that anger, that kind of blunt, just frustration she's been showing. She looks like she's kind of gone internal a little bit. Not comatose, but internal.
Something has happened. Somebody loop me in. What are we?
There
An
was
apostle?
an apostle that showed up, and she wants the
one?
book. Yellow robes, white mask, talks like
Oh, so the
condescending.
diplomat.
Yes.
I mean, she's not short on power, but you're probably not. That's probably your best. Your Majesty, honestly, that's probably your best. What do I want? Best case scenario is that's the one that showed up. She doesn't have a lot of power. Probably isn't going to be able to figure out. I mean, she's not stupid, but isn't going to be able to use a lot of arcane means to figure a lot of stuff out. Honestly, I'm going to say the odds that Godfrey can provide her. Think of her as a cleric from a god who isn't quite a god yet. So the odds of Godfrey being able to grant her enough power to what do I want? Confront the high priestess here in her own house of worship are pretty low.
How about the possibility of her letting Godfrey know about the Queen's presence here?
I don't know how much do you think Godfrey cares about the Queen?
A fair bit, I would assume.
Who knows what that dickless piece of shit cares about?
Listen,
I
I don't mean
think-
this to be as offensive as it's going to come out, lady, but none of the apostles were told to look out for you.
It's actually rather
Actually, I knew more about Dawkin than I ever knew about you.
The Queen, her expression hasn't changed. She still looks nervous. She still looks scared.
My Queen, this is very encouraging information from when we were here. I really think that this is an opportune moment to make something of a counterattack. We have the shadow support, truly a one-of-a-kind ally that we may never have the chance to get again. and the apostles have brought an emissary by their own accord, and it is the weakest one among their elite, and she is at least trying to be diplomatic about this. We have
What does
an
she want?
opening. The book. I thought it was, yes, the book.
Of course. So the shadows have agreed to help us if we give them the book. But we also have no guarantee that if we give them the book that they won't use it against us. The only guarantee we have is that if we give it to Godfrey, no good will come of that.
Yes.
I think it's time we induct someone else into our council. 2 voices is not enough. Bix, would you be willing to join?
Oh, I was afraid you were going to ask me that. Fine.
You are of... well, you have no political desires, I assume.
You got that right.
I trust you to be honest with me. That isn't to say I don't trust Mikael or Eckert, but they have... well, they have their own dealings. And her eyes kind of really glance over at Mikael for a moment, as well as the High Priestess. But what do you suggest we do, Bix?
I don't want to say that we trust this shadow creature. Because I mean, shadow creature. But I think maybe our interests may align. That they want this Book of Shadow to, I don't know, what was it, like destroy their enemies in their shadow realm, right? God, the weirdest shit happens when you go to the city, Bix. And that gets it out of play for Godfrey, right? They haven't given us, other than, creepy shadow people, given us any reason not to trust them, have they?
She nods her head. I suppose not. Eckert, Mikael, even Ven. I'll ask your opinion. You've done your best to attempt to regain our trust. Do you all concur?
I think it's the only play we have at the moment. I think otherwise we're sitting on the book and waiting for the apostles or the shadows to make a move to take it rather than capitalizing on the value we have in it.
I'd say this is a much better option than doing whatever Otifi wanted to do with it.
No, destroy the book. Don't give it to the shadow people. Don't give it to the Godfreys. Don't give it to the other shadow. There's 2 shadow people. No.
Well, there's plenty of us material
Destroy
plane
it. Get
people
rid of it.
too.
Then you know the best about this shadow plane and the shadow people. Do you know anything about this war that they mentioned?
I have never heard of it, which isn't uncommon. I mean, we don't have a lot of interactions between the planes on purpose, because the plane of evil is pretty much full of evil, or plane of shadow is pretty much full of evil. So
perhaps it would be wise to at least do some research on this matter before we make a decision.
On the heavy doors of the Mint, you hear what sounds like someone nailing something to that door.
shit.
Oh, this is gonna go well for everyone.
We really cannot have one meeting without anything bad happening.
I just can't believe the queen asked my opinion, everybody. Like, honestly.
The High Priestess turns to Eckert. Would you mind going and see who is nailing something to our door?
Well, I'd assume we were posting a bulletin, but I'll go take a look.
So you get to the door. Two acolytes have flanked the door. They have their hands on their their weapons, a mace, and one of them has a short sword. And as you open the door, you see that a long scroll has been nailed to the door of the mint. The most obvious thing on this scroll is a blue lantern symbol at the bottom of the scroll that kind of glows slightly blue. And I'm going to give you the TLDR. It says, by order of the King and God of Solaria, this mint is condemned and is closed in the next 24 hours. You are to vacate the premises immediately. And it is signed by Yolana, Apostle of Godfrey.
Not very good at diplomacy, this Yolana person.
You'd obviously pull the nail
Mhm.
and bring it inside to
As you
the high
grab
priest.
the nail, give me a quick will save.
No.
Cool.
Are you sure it's not reflex?
Cool.
Okay.
He's going to attempt to yank out the nail with either his, the
You do so.
back of his pick
no
or whatever.
issue whatsoever. You yank out the nail.
All right. Gonna go ahead and take it inside to the high priest, present it, and then
She
move
looks
over
at
to
it.
the.
She looks at Eckard. She looks at the rest of the room. What a bitch.
Have to agree. I think the shadows can provide us some aid in the situation if they return soon enough to help us. I think a simple 4-clause contract would be amenable to our situation.
Nice.
1, the shadows assist in killing the apostle. 2, we give the shadow the book. 3, the shadows help with further threats to Varnhold in the same vein. And 4, should it be necessary, we provide agents the material plane if the book is lost again. In exchange for the extended protection, obviously. The likelihood of the book being lost again, I can't imagine is very high, given none of us had ever heard of it before.
Then you were against this for some reason, correct?
Yeah, there's no reason the shadow people are going to honor any bargain you put up. I don't care what kind of contract you write.
And you propose we destroy the book instead.
For sure. It's a source of power that we can't control. We also can't control who gets it. Or the best we can do is make sure that no one has it.
Perception
Now,
checks from everyone, please.
Are we able to destroy the book?
We have only the means of the ritual, which one of us would have to absorb it. And based on what I've had with this book in my possession for, 24 hours, it's not a burden one wants to bear.
And yet we do not know how to perform this ritual other than trusting Odify to do it. Is that not right? Therefore, I do not think that destroying the book is even one of our options, although I would certainly consider it if it was.
I mean, it's a book. Can't we just set the damn thing on fire?
It's an artifact. Doesn't work like that.
That's right. It is an artifact.
You don't have some sort of like holy altar you could set it on and then call down the wrath of Abadar and just torch the damn thing out of existence?
Provided it's not a major artifact, we might be able to
Ix,
call
you're
in a
the
proper
only
kind of
one that
inquisitor.
hears this, but you hear what sounds like, well, I'm just going to make the sound to you from somewhere outside in the hallway.
Vix looks up. There's someone being sick outside.
Sounded more like someone maybe being stabbed.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounded like a throw up to me. Did somebody just get stabbed outside?
God damn it.
Can I look through the keyhole first?
Are we having a meeting?
So here's what you see. You see that the acolytes appear to be engaged in combat with black masked individuals, but the room on the other side of there appears to be completely silent. Like you're seeing the fighting, but you're not hearing anything as this is going on.
Yes, there is a fight happening right this second, and it is entirely silent. And
Eckerd's casting Defending Bone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling out a dart.
I'm casting Gravity Bow.
And as you all take a moment to cast some spells, we are going to drop into combat as the Mint is currently under attack by some apostles.
Man, they sure didn't waste any fucking time.
Apostles?
What's that?
Are we surprising these apostles who think they're safe under silence? Well,
Probably.
They didn't waste any time.
yeah.
Well, they get to work early. They only have 24 hours to shut down the mint, so you gotta get going.
Yeah.
All right. What a time to be alive. And with that, we got the Queen. We got the good Dakin. We got the High Priest. And everybody in the initiative?
Yep.
All right. First up in the surprise round is Ven.
I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm also standing in the door. I get one standard or a move, right?
Correct.
Can I do a 5 foot? Is that not?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fine.
you can.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, can we get a radius on the silence? Can we get an
Yeah,
AoE
absolutely. I will go ahead and give you guys a radius.
circle?
Actually, hold on one moment. I actually got something for this. Alright, let's do...
You have a scroll for this?
I have a scroll for that. That game's hilarious.
Yeah, seriously.
Ven will whip Snowball at this guy.
I like it. That is a 22 versus touch. That is a hit. For 8 fire damage. The fire, you watch the snowball goes foot, foot, foot. Hits him, no sound. Rocks to the side, points over in that direction. A couple of the other apostles spin around and start pointing in that direction as well. Dakin is starting to kind of not panic, but he's like jumped up, put his hand over the queen, protect the president kind of thing. Like he's like covering her. He's got his rifle out, he's protecting. The queen herself is crouched down, but it appears she's starting to pull some of these tiny vials out from her dress and is starting to mix chemicals together. Next up in the surprise round would be Bix.
Okay. Bix is gonna step up on top of the table and I'm gonna take a shot at this guy with my gravity bow shot. Four. Damn. I'm sorry. I thought I had made a attack for that. Okay. Yeah. It's just one size.
Also,
category larger.
while this is all going on, I need everyone in the room to also make perception checks.
Okay. I'm gonna do a rapid shot
Eckerd,
also.
One day.
One day.
13 and 7 both hit for 14 damage. Brilliant. Thunk, thunk. Both arrows strike the apostle in the chest. He looks like he might groan, but you hear nothing because he's in an area of silence. All right, next up is going to be...
I've got Polly too.
Yeah, Polly.
Hold on. Let me roll my skill. Perception. There you go. And so for Polly. Okay, I'm gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35. Okay. Polly's gonna run and attack this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's move or standard. It's surprise round. I think it's move or standard because it's surprise round.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
So you can just move. So that's fine.
Okay.
Mikael, your surprise round. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The High Priest, she still sitting, still half munching on a lemon tart because she's hungry, is going to grab her holy symbol and cast prayer on all of you. And Mikael, you're up next.
Yeah. Now I, thanks to my archetype, can do a full round on surprise rounds. So I'm gonna move. And I'm gonna bonk a man on the head. And I'm gonna use underhanded to do max damage if this hits.
Nice. That is
14
a
flat-footed.
swing and a hit.
Oh, nice. That means it deals 6 plus 5 plus 12. 23 damage.
He looks like he is very woozy, but is still standing.
That is all.
Brilliant. Next up, we have Dawkins, who is going to ready in action to shoot anybody that comes in that room. Packard, what are you doing with your surprise round?
Casting Iron Skin and 5 foot stepping.
Love it. Awesome. Okay. And then we got...
With my debilitating strike, I'll lower this person's AC.
Beautiful. And can, Bix, can you give us a quick perception check?
I thought I did.
I don't see it in here.
Right above Mikhail's attack.
Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, Bix, Mikael, you got the highest check, but you're in the silence area, so you don't hear this. So the next highest check was Bix. Bix, you hear what sounds like a bell being rung, like the town bell, and you recognize this bell as meaning there's a fire somewhere in town. So a building has caught fire. And you can hear, like, the fire brigade starting to get going. Like, you hear heavy footfalls outside. Is happening right now. But next up we have you guys hear a voice from inside that room that's not in the cone of silence. It sounds like Sarah, and she's screaming, "Initiates! Initiates! The mint is under attack! Raise arms! Raise arms! Initiates! Initiates!" And then you hear a shriek from her, but you're not sure what happened. This is now back to the top of the round with the first initiate, who's going to swing their mace at this apostle. That's a 10. So he swings wide at that apostle. The apostle ducks the blow, woozily.
He has a -4 to AC.
I know. This one here is going to try to stab this apostle that Bix shot with their short sword. 19 is a hit. And they're going to deal 7 points of damage to him, so he's not looking too dandy. And this apostle initiate over here, they just killed a guy. They are going to move into this area. And you hear what sounds like some other footfalls from somewhere deeper inside of the mint, like they might be looking for something. And this initiate here is going to 5 foot to here, is going to swing with their mace. That is a 9, unfortunately a miss. We're now to this initiate who looks over to his cleric-y friend standing at the doors, which are burst open. and then he's wielding a spear. Short spear is going to stab it in to the initiate in front of him. 16 is a hit. For 10 damage, striking that initiate in the gut. The initiate looks like they're groaning in pain. Ven, you're up next.
Then looks around at the room and then goes, "Shit, Odafy!" And then breaks into a sprint. The hell are the stairs? To here.
You pass that door and see there are 2 apostles inside this room that appear to be looking for someone as you pass by.
Does dash give me a double move? Is that what?
Dash doesn't exist. You can run, but
Oh,
it has to be in a straight
right.
line.
Okay. So I'll just use my standard to move again,
Double
and then
move.
that's where I am. Cool, cool.
Bix, you're up next.
I'm gonna take another 5, and then I'm gonna shoot him with my rapid shot again. I'm also activating, for me, I'm activating Aspect of the Tiger,
Nice.
which gives me a bonus to my dex. And for Polly, I am activating Aspect of the Bull.
Let's go. Let's go. $11 is a miss, 16 is a hit. And which one were you shooting? This one right here?
No, it was this
That
one.
one? Perfect. That's 7. Strikes into them, and that guy looks like he is about to fall over, but is still standing.
Okay, Polly is going to attack the one right next to him.
I believe, Polly. I believe.
And he is going to use his bite attack.
12 is a miss, unfortunately.
Damn it. Okay.
Doesn't he have claws from magic claws?
He was gonna do his I don't have multi-attack with him yet.
Okay.
And then I was also gonna do his bite attack and then his grab and blood drain ability.
It's
Which I
6
still don't think
damage
I've
to
used yet.
This initiate in the middle of the room. This cleric down here waves their hand, and suddenly you can all hear the sounds of fighting from inside that room and the groans of pain. And that is that cleric's turn, except they will 5 foot to here. This initiate here is going to pivot back on this gentleman right here, who appears to have already been wounded, and is going to attempt to stab him. 13 is a miss. Elga is going to stand up, and she begins casting a spell, and you see a burst of radiance go off in the middle of that room. And I have to have them all make some... Yes, they have to make some reflex saves. Let's see how well they do. Fail. 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 Succeed. Fail. Fail. And fail. Wow. Okay, that sucks for them. So only one of the clerics succeeds. And let's see here. So creatures in the area are blinded for 1d4 rounds. And they take 1d4 points of damage per caster level. Get out of my mint! How dare you attack the House of Avatar! You wretched creatures! She looks angry, like really mad. But all of these guys are now blind and are not having a good day. So that's a thing. And they all took a bunch of damage. The one that you hit, Mikael, falls over. This one here that has been shot falls over. And this one over here is not down, but is blind. And next up is going to be Mikael.
Well, there's a blind guy over there apparently, so let's move up to that one.
What?
And bop him on the head. And see how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of red.
You bop him on the head for 14 points of damage, which is not bad. Dawkin is going to just hold his ground with the queen. This apostle here, seeing a gentleman run by, pivots out to here. Are you wielding a weapon then? All right. His hand crackles with electricity, and he reaches out to grab you. And what's your touch AC? Lower than a 23.
It's 12.
Take 10 points as he shocking grasps you. This one is trying to escape. And yeah, he does that, which is cool. Eckerd, you're up next.
He's calling you a coward.
Eckerd,
He exits the other way.
Yeah.
yeah. No, Eckerd stomps out into the front with his pick held high and activates his Earth Blessing and, challenges, gestures to the two clerics at the front door. Face me, cowards. And that's all he's got because he's slow.
Bursting into this hallway, you see Sarah, and it appears she is running from someone. You're not sure who. But she bursts in the hallway, pivots here. Ven still hasn't opened that door, so she's just gonna move over to here, opens the door, sees Ven being attacked, and goes, "We're under attack! We're under attack!" And,
Yeah, I noticed.
rounding the corner is this gentleman running behind her.
Ooh.
But we are now back to the top of the round, and hey, all these guys are now blind, and so this guy's gonna 5 foot to here, and he says, "For Abaddon! For the Gilded Master!" And he's going to attack. 25 is a hit. Let's go. 7 points of damage to that guy. He's still standing, but not looking good. This gentleman here is going to 5 foot to here and make an attack roll on him. 11, unfortunately, is a hit because he's fucking blind. 8 points of damage as he stabs that guy in the gut. This initiate here will 5 foot up and is also, second verse, same as the first, gonna shock and grasp you. 9 is a miss. The energy just crackles in his hand, but he does not connect. It's too tight in that doorway. This one here is going to attempt to close the door on this guy and succeeds, and then is going to try to move towards the other door to slam it shut as well. This initiate here is dead. Ben, you're up next.
Does Sarah have her shield?
She does.
Then yells, "Shields up, Apostle!" And then, even whether she does it or not, goes to spring off of it to get behind her, while pulling out his musket, which he's still got,
Okay.
and then firing at this guy.
I love it. I love it.
Which is essentially just flavor for I move to the other side of
yeah.
Sarah, and then
She gets it.
shoot that
She
guy.
gets it. Mostly, she sees you running at her, so she instinctually puts her shield up, and you springboard off of it. She's like, "Oh crap!" Oh my god.
And then bang.
That's
Oh
pretty
god. No, I spent
That-
a hero point and I re-rolled that.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, you draw your gun. It looks pretty sick. You jump, you fire, and you just watch as he presses himself against the wall, and the bullet blows past, ricocheting down the stairwell into the basement. That was a thing. Oh
Oh, shit.
boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anything else, Ben? Anything else? You got
I'm
anything
out
else
of
for us?
things. I'm out of things.
Bix, you're up next.
Okay. Bix is going to shoot at. He's gonna take another step, and he's gonna shoot at this guy.
Basically, don't roll a 1. These guys are blind, and having a real bad day. The surprise attack isn't going well. First attack actually misses. Second attack obviously hits, and he thunks and cries out in pain. And doesn't look good. What's Polly
Okay.
doing?
Polly is going to try and bite the guy in front of him again.
Polly. Ooh, that looks good. That is a 23 for 10.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Polly. Polly leaps onto this guy's, like, chest, and he's like, ah, 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 and he grabs onto his jugular and just tears it out, and blood just sprays everywhere. And he's like, wah, wah, and just collapses to the ground, just dead. Polly's like, ah. Polly's gotten a little feral since getting medium size. That's aggressive. I like it.
Yep.
It's aggressive.
Yep.
Alright, this one's dead. This one is alive, but blind. This one's got a 5 foot back and appears to cast a spell, and their eyes that were red glowing that went dark start to glow red again. And this one here is... Oh, let's see here. That one is... That one is going to be dead. Mikael, you're next.
Mikael hears an echoing gunshot from north and goes, ah! For fuck's sake, man! And they're gonna start heading that way.
I love it.
I'm gonna stealth to like here. And that's as far as I can move, so that's where I stop, unfortunately. But here
Dawkins
myself.
continues to hold his action, but the queen knocks back a vial of something and disappears. She goes invisible.
Nice.
She vanishes. This apostle here is going to 5 foot in, and his hand crackles with energy, and he reaches out to grab Sarah. Crit miss! Let's go! Oh, I love it. Ah, Sarah's unstoppable.
Whoop.
Let's see if it
Whoop.
confirms. It confirms!
Oh.
So here's what happens. He goes to, like, shocking grasp the girl, and she has her shield. She, like, goes to lower. She goes, oh, crap! And nails him in the junk. Just boom! And he's like, oh! And as he does this, the shocking grasp hits his junk, and the spell hits him instead of her, and he just screams in
Oh
pain.
boy.
So that was 19 damage to himself
Oh no.
from the spell. And she's like, no, this is the House of Abaddon, you son of a bitch! Get out of here! And she's just having a great time. As far as, maybe not a great time, but
Oh
bad.
man, dude electrocutes his balls off.
Seeing that most of his friends are down, this guy rushes into the room, grabbing onto his holy symbol, and says, witness the power of Godfrey! And a cone of negative energy siphons out from him as he channels negative energy to harm. Give me will saves, everybody. 18 is good. Your DC on this is a 16.
Everybody?
No, everybody in that room.
I was like, I'm a ways away.
Yeah.
You said will.
Yeah.
My worst save.
DC 16. DC 16.
Working on it for Polly.
That'd be 18
Yikes.
damage or 9 for half. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, and is she out of range? She is out of range. Bix is in range. Okay, perfect. Eckert Gerst, you're up next.
He is going to swift action to fervor himself, which I believe is 2. No, it's still 1d6.
Nice.
That's some good healing. And he's going to charge Mr. Apostle here
Do it up.
with his corrosive pick.
Get it.
I believe.
Is that a 20 for 11?
20 to hit for 12 damage. 13 damage, sorry.
Solid blow as you strike the pick into his left shoulder. He doesn't cry out in pain, but grunts against this attack. Next up is this Apostle, who is still blind, but is going to swing wildly at the initiate in front of him, and that would be a hit, but it's a D100. I'm going to say low. That is high. The attack goes wide. Sarah lets out a eep and draws her little tiny light mace and is going to try to boop this guy on the head. And let's see how well she does. Wish her luck. That is an 8. She swings wide. But, hey, she can't win them all. She did make a guy shock and grasp his own junk. The Shadowed Stalker is going to look at Ven, shake his head, and then he's going to bolt down the stairwell. Bolt down the stairwell, which is a thing that he does. So that's where he heads off to. He's going to bolt down that stairwell. And,
Great big old pussy.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. And let's see here. So the first stairwell actually ends up here. So he's going to get 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 55, and 60. He's going to get all the way over to there. All right. Next up is this initiate who's like, we're turning them! Keep fighting! And pivots over there to get into a possible flanking position. Is going to swing on that guy. 22 is a hit. Let's fucking go. These are fire. 7 points of damage to that guy. She swings with her mace, hitting him. This one says, you never should have come here! And swings 22. Let's go, initiates! Yes! Oh my god, these guys are fire. You don't mess with the House Abadar, bitches. Let's go. 6 damage. And this Apostle Initiate here is going to move in. Being Sarah, is actually going to cast a different spell against Sarah. And that spell is Sleep.
Sleep.
Oh! Sarah, like, shakes her head, then, behind her, like, ah, now is not time for sleep. Now it's time for kicking your ass, she says. And, yeah, this guy here is going to move over to here, slam the other door shut with his move action, and with his standard, he bars it again. Like, there's, like, an emergency bar that slides across. Then, you're up next.
Then looks at the stairs, then looks at this Apostle that he feels mildly responsible for now. Then he looks at the stairs again. Then he goes, fuck it, duck.
Sarah ducks.
And then he burning hands the hallway.
Let's go! Yes! I love it.
We're gonna set the building on fire. Here we
It's
go.
made of stone. This building won't burn.
So DC is the reflex save for 15 for half of. Wait, what
see
level are
this
we?
one
3,
before.
5? We're 5, right?
We're 4. Neither of those options.
we're 3 or 5, right? You're like, no, 4.
Take the average.
So 10 fire damage. The one guy makes it, the other guy doesn't.
That's actually pretty fucking good. So this guy in front bursts into flames. Then give me a will save.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Nope,
Like,
sorry.
You know what? Fuck that guy. Moving forward
Yeah.
in this moment, as long as you're not burning civilians, you won't have to make will saves anymore.
Oh,
That was
nice.
Absolutely fucking. You're like, you get it. You're like, fire is good against the right enemies.
Against the
There
right
it
enemy.
is. That.
Wow.
This is a turning point moment for you. You saved Sarah. You know you saved Sarah. So you
How
fire
did it
could be
take
good.
so
It could be
long for
something to
you?
use. I like that. The other guy though is gonna take the pull, and he's in a moment. Bix, you're up next, dude.
Let's see. Bix is going to take another 5 foot, and he's going to.
Wait, I have movement because I only cast a spell. So Ven's gonna now that he's knocked one guy down, he's going to take off down the stairs after
I love it. How far can you get? Just to the end there?
just 30 feet. So yeah, I'll be at the
Move you
bottom of the
down to
stairs on the
here,
other.
Just so everybody at
Cool,
home
cool.
can see. That's where Ben is. He moved just down to those stairs. Wait, where'd you go? Oh, you over there. There you
He's
are.
on the street.
Right there. He's right up in the corner there. Perfect. All right, back up at the top of the mint. And this cleric is going to move in, starts banging on the door.
Excuse me.
It's
Oh,
Bix's turn.
Bix.
Sorry,
You hear the
yeah.
banging on the door outside. The apostle can't get back in.
Okay, Bix is going to shoot this guy again.
He's about to have a bad day.
Yeah, he is.
That is both hits, and an arrow catches him in the side. He grunts. The next arrow catches him in the neck, and he gurgles on his own blood, dying there.
All right, then Polly is going to scamper over this way and attack this guy.
Do it.
He is going to bite him.
I believe. 13 is a miss.
Fuck.
13 is a miss. And next up is Elga, who is going to move into the room, and she is going to channel to heal. And anyone in the room that is, other than the apostles, obviously, she's going to exclude those assholes. That will be 25 points of damage back to anybody that's injured in the room. So she's like, let me show you the power. Let me show you the power of a real god, you assholes. Boom! Boom! And this one's on the house. Fight on, apostles! Initiates, she says, not apostles. Fight on, initiates! And that's where she's at. Mikael, you're up next.
She turns around and fights against the apostles now.
Aha! Little did you expect? I am Godfrey! No, twist.
What a twist.
Well,
What a
Mikael
twist.
is hiding, so I can't attack from here, right? Because it's around the corner.
Correct.
So I'll move here and bop this guy in the head.
Do it.
And he's flat-footed. Because I'm hidden. Alright. 17.
Oh yeah,
Damage.
and you knock him the fuck out. He's down.
Girl, where did Fenwivar go?
Sarah, hi Foxman. He went downstairs. I'm gonna go help him. And she looks like she's ready to head off down the stairs to go help.
Well, that's my turn, so.
Can you believe it? We're being attacked. This is awesome. I didn't know being a cleric would be like this. This is great.
Let's
Did you see that
start
guy? I made him
more
shock and
fighting.
grasp himself in the junk.
That is disturbing. How? Later.
She's having a great time. She actually looks really excited. You know all that uncertainty she had about being a cleric? God, this is fucking awesome. She loves it. She had no idea it was this exciting. She thought it was all just accounting and bookkeeping. Dawkin is actually going to pivot out to here, is going to see this apostle right there, and you know what? Fuck that guy. Yep. All right, let's go.
Well.
Dawkin. 12 points of damage. He's still standing, but he ain't happy as he takes a musket shot to the chest. His armor dented and kind of blown out. Blood splatters in the back of the wall as he coughs. Next up is this dead guy. And next up is this cleric who, well, he's having a rough day. He's not, things are not going as well as he had anticipated, to be candid. He feels like, you know, maybe the power of Godfrey is waning. But no, the power of Godfrey can never wane. And everything is happening as it should. You fools! You know not of the powers you meddle with. Your day shall come. Your day shall come! Suffer! And he raises his unholy symbol again. And everybody give me will saves. 15. DC 16. DC 16. So 15 if you fail. Half for 7. Eckerd Gerst.
I'm curious, is this guy excluding his unconscious
He is
apostles? Alright, cool. They're dead.
Correct.
Picking him. 16 for
Oh.
11. That's actually less flanking. I would have stepped up. That'd be 18 for 11.
So you swing, you take your pick, bearing it into his arm that he has raised high, tearing it down. You pull the arm out of the socket, bring the pick back, and straight into his face, just dead. And he drops to the ground, very much dead. Over here, this apostle is dead. Sarah's like, "For Abadar!" Echoed, you hear Sarah screaming for Abadar and apparently running down the stairs. And she's gonna get behind. She's gonna almost run into Ben, but she stops there. Bursting around the corner, you just catch the tail end of this guy running. And next up, this initiate. And he says, "High Priest, what are your orders?" "Secure the mint. Find if there are any left. Find out how they got inside. Go now." And they start to kind of move off in different directions to go and do what they're going to do. This guy is knocked the F out. And this initiate does the same. Ven, you're up next.
Don't have enough movement to do. All right, so Ven casts Reloading Hands, which once per round, Phantom Hands will load a single ranged weapon or firearm with conjured ammunition.
That's awesome.
So I cast it on my musket, and they load my musket for me. Then I move.
Okay.
And I get to, 5, 30 to there. Sadly, I cannot round that corner.
"There's one in the basement! There's one in the basement!" screams Sarah. Vix, you're up next.
That's my second level spell, you guys. That's what I can do.
Ooh, fancy.
Sick.
Ooh.
Ever heard of Scorching Ray?
No, Reloading Hands. Puts
Better.
bullets in my guns for free.
That is
Wow.
pretty cool.
Everyone's gone from this front room, right?
Yep.
Okay. Bix is going to run and jump on Polly's back, and then Bix and Polly are gonna run 20, bust through this door here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I think that's his movement.
Yeah.
He can't take his full move, right?
He moved to move on, but Polly can take his full move if you're moving as Polly. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Don't move your tokens for a second, because I'm going to do a thing. There we go.
Perfect.
Now you're the right size.
Wow.
Such immersion.
I'm immersed.
60. Okay. That would get us there.
Beautiful. Mikhail, you see Bix riding Polly right in the corner. He looks the proper size, suddenly. You've always known him to be a little bit bigger. It's weird.
Wow. It's like they've swapped sizes now.
The banging on the door ceases, and you hear footsteps running away from the mint. Elga continues to give orders. She says, secure the queen. We shall handle the remaining interlopers. How dare they attack the mint of Abadar? And she is going to cast she's going to move over here. She's going to cast a Cure Moderate on the good man. That is 16 points of HP back to Echoed. And she says, you know what to do. Mikhail.
I am booking it. I can get 50 fit here and 10 more.
Love it.
So just ahead of Sarah, I guess.
Yes, down in the basement. Let's go. Sarah
All
says, "Oh, hi, Fox Guy. There's one of those shadowy dudes, or an apostle. I don't know. Oh my God, it was so cool though. I was fighting and I saw him. He was chasing me and I ran away and then I ran into Vet and
Ben!
she just goes on
Ben!
and on.
Don't
and on.
run by yourself. You're going to die.
Dawkins is gonna just hold. I'm gonna delete a couple people out of the initiative here because they're not really that important anymore. And okay, we got Eckerd. You're up next.
Eckerd is going to depart the front doors of the mint and go towards the secret entrance that goes towards the back.
Love it.
He's
And
gonna
that'll
mount
take you
a shadow
two
too
rounds
far.
to get to. Just 2 rounds.
That's fine. Just
Yep.
tell me when I get there.
Yep, absolutely. Sarah is like, for Abadar!
Oh boy.
She's like, he's running for the stairs! He's running for the stairs! And the Shadowed Stalker like
Runs for the stairs.
runs for the stairs, gets to the stairwell, starts to turn, and then you hear Ven from around the corner what sounds like someone drawing back. You know in Hunt we hear that? You hear someone drawing back on a bow. Let's see what happens.
You hear his weapons. Fuck, there's someone shooting at us.
You hear the shot go, and you hear a tink, and she goes, "You'll have to do better than that, asshole!" And, yeah, apparently it hit her buckler, and didn't hit her, because she has, like, a 14 AC.
You fucking tell that shit.
He has a fucking +10 to attack, and just biffed it on a goddamn, like, side character. This is...
No, it's because Sarah's a badass. That's why.
Sarah's the
Apparently.
best of all of us.
I've never
Ben,
seen
you're
her
up next.
fail, so
I don't know. I don't know. She's fucking... I can't believe this. I was like, she's gonna get killed. But nope.
All right. Well, in that case, Van rounds the corner, gets just ahead, like essentially bounces off this wall
Yeah.
right next to her, and then lands in front of her, and then fires
Here's
his
what
musket.
happens. If you let me embellish for a moment, she
For
hears
sure.
you running. She goes, "Same verse, second verse, same as the first," and she puts her buckler up, and you can jump
Nice.
off of it again.
Yeah. And then I fire my musket at that guy again, and then right after that, the hands reload it so that I don't
like you
have to
guys
myself.
have a routine already. It's been one call.
15 touch. That is a hit for 7 damage. Boom. You strike him, and you can see him kind of do one of these, and then he, with his bow in the right hand, he brings up his left hand and does a little like finger wag at you.
Yeah, no shadow defense now, you little shit.
Next up is Bix. Riding.
Okay.
Ollie.
Bix is going to charge with Polly.
Ooh, Eckert, quick thing. Outside, you hear the bells, and you see smoke rising from multiple places around the city. It's as though someone has lit the town on fire.
Is this where he would come out?
Huh? Where? Yeah.
Like-
On the second
okay.
level, like you come out right there. That is correct, man. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So that's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Little foxy foo-foo running through the temple, sneaking behind the acolytes and bopping them on the head.
70.
That's
It's
actually-
times 3 movement for a charge, right?
Times 2.
Or for a full run.
Times 5? If you have the run feat, times...
It's times 4 if you don't have the run feed, times 5 if you do, but you have to go in a straight line. And times 3 for wearing heavy armor.
Where is that?
I know who would have a 25 AC right now? No one. Never.
Okay. So Polly gets me to there with just a double speed so that he can take corners, right? And then Bix is going to shoot.
I love it. Come on. 29 is a hit. Arrow strikes into them. He grunts and doesn't wag his finger at Bix. He looks like that hurt. I mean, let's be honest, it hurt.
Come and get some, bitch.
All right, Eckert, you continue to run. You continue to move.
I think he
Sarah
skipped me, but I'm
is
just gonna
going
move here.
to. Oh God, Sarah, you're an idiot. Ah! For Abadar! Just double moves up there to get close to him. Shadowed Stalker does not shoot at her. Instead, runs down the stairwell and is going to appear down here.
I mean, he made the right move. Who would fight her?
I mean, she's
Yeah.
literally impossible to kill. And it's there. And Van, you're up next. Shadow Stalker's down here. So everybody knows at home.
Okay. Here's what I want to do. Van is going to move to here. No, I think he'll double move to the
Kurt,
top of
I
the
think-
stairs.
Just real quick, I think it's going to be more thematic for you to arrive on the next turn. Like, there's probably some sort of secret
Up
entrance.
to you.
I just think that's more thematic. I don't want you to wait
Sure.
2 rounds. I just feel like that just feels right. Like, maybe there's another
Okay.
secret passageway that you know the entrance to, or there's, like, even a magic
Mm-hmm.
portal of some kind. We're just gonna maybe do a little bit of hand-waving, but I just think it's
Alright.
thematic for you to be there. Like, you watch as the shadow guy, like, you just enter in through, like, this permanent dimension door that's, like, on the exterior, but you have to have, like, a certain passcode for Fraser getting in, and you, like, step in, and then you appear, and you watch as he crosses. So you're down on that, in that basement level. You can see where you arrive.
Okay, here's what I would like to do.
Here's what I'm gonna have you do.
I double move to get to here, and then
Yeah.
I spend my last hero point.
Go on.
I take the gunpowder horn that I have,
Mhm.
and I toss it down the path, the hallway after him, because I assume that door is not self-closing, so it's still open from his
Mhm.
going through. And with spark, I light it so that it blows up in that hallway.
All right.
My gunpowder horn. I don't know what you want me to roll for that.
Roll me 10d6. Oh, excuse me. Roll me 1d10 first. Excuse me. 1d10.
Okay.
All right, 1d6
Oh, no.
damage. Not that good.
Yeah.
It's not as full as you would have
Yikes.
liked.
Oh god.
All right, it explodes, but it's not. It's just kind of like a. The guy seems to take some damage. You hear him go, "Oh,
Shit, my powder must have been wet.
yeah."
You get a hit marker, but no dust for him.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what you heard. Exactly. All right.
I mean, there's no other way out, right?
Vix, you're up next.
Oh, I mean, magic shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. I suppose.
Mikael?
You say Bix? No.
Yeah, I'm just running, so I'll just be here. Well, I guess I'll run all the way.
Sarah, for Abadar! And she runs down the stairwells, gets to here, and goes, "Oh, Taxmaster! Eckerd! He's going for the prisoner! We have to stop him! For Abadar!" And she just looks super excited.
Keeps going.
But she is going to stop because she saw you, and kind of like
Yeah.
doesn't hesitate, but she's stopping. She gets to here. You hear what sounds like a door being burst open, and you hear from that side hallway, you hear says, "Your father wishes for you to come home." And
Shit.
let's see here. We are over to, I believe it's now. Oh, Eckerd's turn. I skipped over Eckerd. Forgive me. I didn't mean to skip over Eckerd. Eckerd,
Oh,
you are
all
here
good.
now. You are here now.
He's double moving to there.
Nice. You see the man standing there. You see Odafi just through the doorway. You can just see her kind of cowering in the corner there, shaking her head. No, I'll never go back to that monster. No. I am my own person. No. And then she stops, and she seems almost comatose. Vix, you're up next. Wait a minute. Ven is up next. Forgive me. I'm all fucked up out of order. This is just there's too much chaos happening. I'm distracted by Sarah being a badass. Ven, you're up next.
Alright, Ben jumps down the stairs. You can get to here. I don't think I have anything. Ben yells, Odafi, hold on, we're coming! And then... Can I see that it's a double move? It'll get me to here, I guess. And then I point the gun at his head, right beside him, like twitch, and you're dead.
Nice.
Vix, you're up next. Luna is to my right now, and she's just like sitting there staring at me intently because I've been a little intense, and she can tell like I'm a little like it's intense right now, and she's just like, "Are you okay?" Like that's her expression right now. It's just like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine, Luna. I'm fine. It's fine. It's just this is the thing. This is the thing that's happening." Anything else, Bix? Is that everything? As he knocks back his pint.
Oh, I just realized that I was muted. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, Bix is going to rush up with Polly, and then like rein him in, and then he's got the Shadow Stalker assassin dude covered. And if he does anything, then he'll shoot him.
Perfect. Ackard Gerst.
You skipped over me again.
No, I didn't. I said Mikael.
Of course. Yeah, I'll just jump down the stairs. Keep moving this way. And I have just enough movement to try and acrobatics over this guy and get in between him and the cell.
I love it.
Unless I fail, of course, and then I'm stuck behind Ben.
Possible. I think you're going to succeed. Unfortunately, that is a failure.
Rip. Hero point for +4.
Yeah, it works.
All right. I get in there and I stand between him and Oliver. There we go.
They're rounding the corner for... Oh man, there's too many people in this hallway. And the Shadowed Stalker. Shadowed Stalker. This guy who doesn't look so shadowy anymore. Looks to his left, looks to his right, looks at the Foxman in front of him, and kind of looks past him at Odafy.
I'm very sorry.
And he goes for it. He goes to push past.
Oh shit.
He
It's
goes
not
to push
hard.
Past. And I believe a bunch of people had some ready actions. So let's go down the list. Let's go from Bix to Ven. I think Ecker, did you have a ready to action as well? No? Okay, so Bix and Ven, you both had ready to actions.
No,
to shoot
I
this
had
guy.
to double move to get here, so while I hold my gun up to him, I don't get to...
Unfortunate. So he's going to go to push past Mikael. And Mikael, in his hand...
I mean, Bix will still shoot.
In his left hand, you see him holding the same platinum unholy, whatever, the symbol of Godfrey that you saw earlier.
No, you said unholy. It's
Unholy.
important.
Well,
an important thing. Yeah.
It's unholy. I mean, he's evil, let's be honest. It's an unholy symbol.
Yeah, cool.
Symbol of Godfrey. And
Sorry.
no, you're good, man.
The second he moves, Bix is gonna like loose
I love it.
and
Shoot. So
rapid
you only
shot.
get one attack, and unfortunately a 21 is a miss. Unfortunately, 20 misses. It thwangs, goes right past Eckerd. You have a shield, right?
It's technically
Clinks-
23. 'cause no
Clinks
rapid
off
shot.
of your shield as well. And
Oh yeah,
go ahead.
it would be 23 if it's not a rapid shot.
Oh, that is a hit for 8 damage. He's still standing, but it clings off of Eckerd's shield, ricochets off the ceiling, and then nails the guy in the shoulder. And this man pushes past, goes to push past Mikael. Mikael, what's your CMD, my friend? What is your CMD?
16.
Oh, that's not good enough. But we're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. He could fail.
I mean, mine's 11, so
actually
better you than
possible.
me.
That's a 30.
Yeah.
That is, I rolled an 18. Fair enough. He
Could've
pushes past, and as he pushes past, taking the holy symbol, he all but slams it into her chest, and there is a bright blue fiery flame. Eckerd, Ven, Mikael, you can see the magic of this room, the anti-magic field that's present here, crack. Like, it's almost like you watch like a glass pane crack, and the whole room just like bursts into this monotonous kind of like boom, like think Inception noises, and I need everyone to make a quick will save or fortitude save actually as you hear this. You hear this. The DC on this is a 22.
Can I have the
Anyone that
10 I rolled for the willpower, so it's a 14 instead of...
Anyone that fails is deafened in this moment, and you watch as this blue flame appears around Odifie, and she starts to scream, but you then hear this voice that seems to emanate from a portal behind her, and it sounds a little bit something like this. Fear not, my child. You're simply coming home.
I would like to propose something.
I'd like to listen.
Ven's got the tattoo on his chest, which I assume gives him some connection to this magic.
Yep.
And so Ven will sacrifice every bit of arcane energy he's got to tap into that tattoo and essentially tap into that teleport magic and just hand Odifie his gun, which is still loaded.
All right. I'm going to allow it. Do you have any hero points left?
I do not. I am fully out of hero
That's the
points.
issue. That's the issue. I would need a hero point at least.
That's what
for
I
it.
figured.
need a hero point. I love where your mind's at. I was like, yeah, a hero point, I'll let you roll. It's going to be a spellcraft check. It's not going to be easy. But without a hero point, there's nothing. Like, you feel like your mind is racing, Ven, through all of these different things, but you can't think of something. And Mikael, as you turn, you watch as these almost Cthulian-like tendrils of energy reach out. And Brian, you may recognize this from way back in the day. Reach out, wrap around her, and it sounds like this sucking noise, and she is pulled through this portal and disappears before you, and the portal slams shut. As that happens, the man draws his longsword and prepares himself for a fight. Ven, you're up next.
Shoot him in his dumb, stupid face.
That's fair.
Bang.
16
And then once-
touch? First touch, right?
Yeah.
That's a hit.
16
Wait,
touch.
did you skip Eckard? Because I went and then he didn't go, I think.
Oh, fuck! Eckert, it's your turn.
Eckard theoretically would have gone before.
Yeah.
The guy went,
That's
too.
unfortunate.
Oh,
Oh,
that
well.
is. Yeah, whatever.
I just noticed it.
That's totally my bad. You want to take 2 attacks against this guy. I doubt you would have dealt enough to kill him, but totally good.
Unless you
Find out. 1. Is that a crit? No, it's not.
Oh.
And 2.
Oh.
It's probably a miss.
Yeah, it would have been a miss. So he would have been. He's got a little extra damage on him. That's would have been a miss. That would have actually been your second attack. Could have been your attack of opportunity as he left your threatened square. So why don't you take one more attack and see if you can bop him. You can boop him.
And this will be the last of my +1 pickingness.
That is a miss. That is a miss, unfortunately. That is a miss. Next up, we're back to the top of the round. I will not skip anybody now.
Bix.
I believe.
Bix, you're up first.
Okay, we will kind of run in there. Bix will take a shot first. And he is going to do his rapid shot.
Both those hit. And as the first arrow strikes, he grunts. His sword drops out of his hand. The second arrow strikes him in the upper chest. He drops to his knees and then collapses over, falling down, very, very much dead. And in that
Shit.
moment,
Where did Odifie go?
things get a little quiet. Please take the seat.
There was a portal tentacles. She's gone.
Gone. Oh,
No, that's not
fuck.
possible. Ven bursts in, casts detect magic.
Conjuration magic.
I'm
Very,
gonna start
very,
looking
very
through
strong.
the apostle. see if he has got anything that can help.
Well, he's got a golden holy symbol, unholy symbol of Godfrey, and he's also got this stuff.
All right, I'll grab the unholy symbol and show it to Ven and go. He used this to open a hole in the wall, and can you do the same?
Different holy
That's like
symbol,
I could
different
try.
symbol. This is gold, and the other one was platinum. The one that was platinum seemed to go with her, just to be clear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I still use the symbol, so I'd say the same thing. I don't know the difference.
And takes the symbol and just like
Nothing. An acolyte appears down here and says, "The high priestess sent me, Taxmaster Eckert. The city is in flames. The apostles or someone, they started burning down the gilded, whatever the name of the place that you said.
Yeah.
Started
Gilded
burning
Minstrel.
down, and the city has caught flames. It is in complete chaos. Please, we need your help."
Onwards. Sighs after having just fought 3 guys and starts jogging upstairs.
Yep. And you start jogging upstairs. What are the rest of you doing?
Everyone jogs ahead of him faster.
Oh yeah.
It's because he's self-conscious right now.
Yes. There are people back.
I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grab everybody here really quick. And it's all...
Ven continues to try and figure out how to make the holy symbol make it teleporting.
Okay. Who is
It
going?
just like slams it into the ground, slams it into the wall.
Bix and Polly will go.
Okay, you go. Miguel, are you going or staying with Ven?
I'll stay with Ven because I think he'll do something stupid if I leave him.
Sarah follows behind Eckert and says, Eckert, I've decided I definitely want to be a cleric of Abadar. This is awesome. Is it like this all the time? There was fighting, and I hit a guy in the junk. Well, I didn't hit him in the junk, but I blocked his attack, and then he shocked himself in his private areas, and then also I was running, and then the guy shot at me, and I blocked it with my shield, my buckler that you got me, and then I booped another guy, and then there was this, and she just goes on and on. She's like, she's way too excited.
Maybe
about
once
this.
or twice in a lifetime if you're really unlucky.
This is awesome. She's just so excited and fully committed to being a cleric of Abadar at some point. But we're gonna pivot back up to here, and our last scene for the evening, 2 last scenes, is Ven desperately trying to figure out what happened. And as you have your eyes glowing blue, watching this conjuration magic, this teleportation magic slowly fade in front of you, you cannot figure out what to do. You just can't figure it out. You don't know what's going on.
Okay. Ven continues to persist long past the point of the magic fading away. He's still trying to like do something.
Ven, I think nothing is happening.
She can't be gone. I promised her I'd help her. Like we could still help her. I just got to get to wherever she is. And the door is here. It's here. Right? It's here. You saw it. You saw a door.
Yes, but it is closed now, right? If you want to help her, then we have to find a different way.
I mean, where would he would have taken her to the Arcanum. What's another way to get into the Arcanum?
How about we start with fighting the apostles that are invading the city?
Fuck the apostles. I don't care about them. They're just poor saps like me. It's Godfrey we gotta fight.
Maybe they can help with getting in the Arcanum?
No, but their leaders might be able to. You're a genius. Come on, we gotta find somebody with a fancy mask.
All right.
And as Ven runs upstairs, we pivot upstairs where we see an acolyte who is very similar to the other one that was wavering and seemed to be possessed, is wavering and seems to be possessed in front of the high priestess. And she goes, "Oh, well, I suppose that's good news. Ah, Taxmaster Eckert, Bix, Sarah, what? Were you in that fight?" And Sarah's like, "It was awesome!" And she's like, "Calm down, child." But she turns to Taxmaster Eckert. She says, "It appears that the shadows have agreed to this proposed alliance. This one here calls himself Nebulaire and has requested use of this initiate's body for the time being. He has agreed to help us in our endeavor to defeat Godfrey's apostle in the city. The initiate turns to Eckerd and says, "You may refer to me as Nebulaire, and I am here to see that our agreement comes to a equitable end."
Of course. Do we know where this apostle is?
The High Priestess turns to all of you, turns towards Dawkin. You see that the Queen has reappeared over in the corner, and she says, "Well, honestly, I would follow the sounds of the fires." And with that, we're going to pivot out of the room, pivot up to an overhead aerial view of the city where we see that there's multiple fires. Primary fire is this building. There's a little like tavern sign that's like falling over. The whole building's in flames. Bucket brigades are trying to put it out. And as we zoom up and over, we actually zoom up and over to if you remember the mayor's manor? Remember that manor? Yeah. Well, we zoom into the manor. And as we zoom into the manor, we see a particular mayor sitting next to a yellow-robed woman.
Yeah.
And he says, "All I want is full assurance that the city will be mine. I will pledge myself to Godfrey in full." And that, my friends, is where we will end today's session.
guy.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Boom! All right.
Fucking called it.
Oh man, that was fun, guys. I had a good time. We hadn't had a fight in a couple sessions, and I wasn't exactly sure where this was gonna go. And as everything started to transform, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And you got betrayed apparently because the Queen's deliberation with this guy did not go well. So it is what it is.
No, we
but-
expected.
no, nobody saw that one coming. Strong foreshadowing, Wolf. But no, great session, everybody. I had an absolute blast. Thank you as always for playing, and thank you to the viewers for viewing, etc. But any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before we wrap up today's session and move on with our evenings?
No, I'm good.
Good session.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
have fun.
Running.
I have great news. You guys are awesome. You don't get a level, maybe soon. But we are moving into part 3 of Broken Oaths. Part 3 of Broken Oaths, which is going to be entitled The Shadow Alliance. And I'm very excited for you guys to have a brand new friend named Nebulaire, who apparently is a shadow general. I don't know. It's weird. You also found some cool magic shit. But yeah, thank you guys for playing. Thank you to the viewers for viewing. And as I always say, at the end of every session, happy gaming, everybody. We will catch you next week, same game time, same game place for session 11. We did it.
We
of
did
Charles'
it.
Solaria Broken
Yeah.
Oaths. And let's all just take a quick moment of silence for Odafi. All right, it's done. All right.
Nice one.
Good night, everybody.